Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune in to Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals. Funny time to join us from the studios of MITV. My name is Adegboyega Labiron, welcoming you to yet another episode of your favorite program on television, Corporate Governance Platform. In this particular episode, we shall be showing you our playback of the 46th Annual Conference of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, which took place last week, and that is Thursday, Friday, and the dinner took place on Saturday. In that particular playback, you will be watching a keynote address, opening remarks by the President and Chairman in Council in the person of Mr. Taiwo Gbenga Owo Kalade, FCRS. And of course, you will also watch remarks from the Registrar and the Chief Executive Officer, the person of Mrs. Olushesi Taiwo. And during the program, you will also be watching a program coming up, and it is ICSAN in collaboration with Adegboyega Adegboyega & Co. is organizing a program titled The Dynamics of Corporate Governance in the Insurance and Financial Services Sector, which is actually coming up on the 12th and 13th October 2022. Venue is Necker House, Alausa, Ikeja. Time 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For whom? Industry lawyers, insurance industry lawyers, legal counsels, governance practitioners, human resources managers, professionals in the financial and allied services sector. For enquiries, please call 0701113059 and Adegboyega Adegboyega on 0803 305 2304. Over now to the MCR for a playback of the clip of the 46th Annual Conference of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. It took place on the 15th, 16th, and 17th of this month. Take a look and enjoy yourself.
It's another opportunity for us to be here gathered together to witness this day, which is one of the flagship of the programs of the Institute, the conference that brings virtually every member of the Institute together to look at a necessary topic, be able to add our voice to those issues, and then also send our communique to the key stakeholders for us to continue to contribute to the nation's development. I want to thank God Almighty for giving us a wonderful day, and I want to appreciate every one of us that have been here. Let me start by saying that a few days ago, we lost a strong voice of the Institute, a past president of our dear Institute. And then before I give my speech, I need to lead us to do a minute silent prayer for him. Because some times ago, he played this role that I'm playing now, and because he demands that we give honor to that voice, because he contributed greatly towards the Institute and its growth. And up to the last minute of his death, some of our members were still in his house, and they welcomed them greatly. He shared his thoughts about the Institute and its future. They took pictures, which we circulated. Unfortunately, the man died a few days ago. He is no other person than the past president of the Institute, Mr. Ayodeji Abiodun Oshodi, FCIS. I call on everyone to please let us rise and do a minute silence on his will. I want to thank God for his life. The only thing we owe him is to ensure that we keep the flag flying and the institute keeps moving on. On that note, I want to say that the chairman of the opening ceremony, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, SAN, the Minister for Works and Housing, joining us virtual, we want to appreciate you. The Vice President of the Institute, Mrs. Funmi Ekundayo, FCIS, who is also the chairman of the Conference and AGM Committee. I'm using this platform to appreciate you and all the members of your committee for putting up a very impressive program. I want to thank all of your members through you to say that it can only keep getting better. We saw what we did last year, we saw what we're doing this year, and can only keep ensuring that we keep pushing out. So thank you so much and extend our gratitude to the members of your committee. The Treasurer of the Institute, Mr. Francis Olawale, FCIS. The immediate past president, Mr. Bode Ayeku, FCIS, who also by his grace is the global president of our institute. I was having a slight joke on him when I saw him, and I said, if you are not being a Nigerian, and he said he was coming to attend our program, we'll have been struggling to start monitoring his flights from wherever he will be coming, monitor the hotel, send a protocol to go and bring him to this program. But because he's at home, we are happy that you didn't make us to go through all of those issues. And we're excited that we have you in the house. Thank you for being a great ambassador and pushing the brand of the Institute worldwide. We'll always be able to say that history will be kind to our institute, that in the Committee of Governance Professionals, that the point we provided that worldwide leadership that at least puts us on the map of the world to say that good things come out of Nigeria. The good Lord will keep sustaining you. As we run towards the last few months of your tenure, you'll finish strong. The good Lord will be your strength, and we shall keep recording much more successes than you know one. We are proud of what you are doing. And we want.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome us all very warmly to this year's annual conference, which happens to be our 46th annual conference of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. The president of the Institute and also the chairman of council, Mr. Taiwo Bengawo Kalade, FCIS. The treasurer, Mr. Francis Olawale, FCIS. The immediate past president, our own global president, Mr. Bode Ayeku, FCIS. Past presidents here present and also with us online. The chairman of the opening ceremonies, Mr. Raji Babatunde Fashola, SAN. The keynote speaker, Mr. Bernard Kabweze. Our distinguished speakers, Professor Sylvester Odeonokaine, Dr. Mrs. Folashade Yemieson, and Mrs. Uto Opana, FCIS. All members of the Governing Council here present and also joining us online. Fellow Chartered Secretaries and Administrators, all governance professionals here present, distinguished guests, members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with great delight that I welcome you all to the 46th Annual National Conference of our great institute, the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN. As you all know, the annual conference of ICSAN is an annual event during which our members and other stakeholders converge to deliberate on some prevailing and trending national issues for the purpose of finding solutions to problems and other challenges within the economics and ecosystem. In addition, the forum also offers a platform as well as expanding the frontiers of knowledge in the governance profession to which we all belong. As champions of corporate governance in Nigeria, our institute has been using every opportunity to advocate for proprietary, sound administration, and good governance anchored on best practices. This objective invariably guides us when we choose themes for our programs, including the Roundtable on Corporate Governance, the annual public lecture, Public Practice Day, and of course, the annual conference, which we are holding today, the 2022 edition. You will realize that we stick to this tradition in our choice of theme for this year's annual conference, which is the National Debt Burden, Causes, Effects, and Realistic Economic Solutions. The apt and relevant sub-themes, which we have also chosen to further deepen relevant discussions around socioeconomic realities of our nation, as well as getting more acquainted with some topical issues in our profession, are as follows. The first sub-theme, Public Administration, Entrenching Sound Governance Principles for Macroeconomic Growth. The second sub-theme, Beyond Governance, the role of dedicated followership in participatory democracy. As we all are aware of the fact that our nation stands on the threshold of history again to elect the leadership come 2023. So as governance professionals, we believe we should also be discussing the role of the followership in ensuring that we put round pegs in round holes. The evolving, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous compliance landscape in Nigeria, a new dashboard for the chartered secretaries of Mrs. Folashade Yemioso is already on standby. We will just allow him to go ahead. However, let me just make this introductory remark. One thing that is fundamental is that in any economy, there are two basic sectors. We have the private sector and the public sector. And both of them must be efficiently managed in order to have a viable economy. There is no way any country can prosper and achieve the desired objectives without the two sectors working in tandem. We know we have a lot of regulations for the private sector, and the interesting thing is that the regulations for the private sector are always put in place by the government and represented by the public sector. So the public sector regulates the private sector, and that is why we have a lot of codes of governance. However, for the public sector, the expectation is that we should also have governance in place, and preferably a code of good governance. That will actually be nice in the sense that those sectors will be regulated and will be in a position to have a very, very prosperous economy. So from the point of view of the public sector, it will be interesting for all the participants to listen attentively to the presentation by the representative of the head of service. And one interesting thing at the end of the day is that we must be conscious of one fact, that we need good governance, both in the public and the private sectors of the economy, so that we can all enjoy the dividends of democracy. And by the time we listen to the keynote speaker, please, I will encourage you, jot your questions. We want this particular section to be interactive because it is in our interest to ask some pertinent questions, to raise comments that the government will need to consider and implement so that we can all enjoy and achieve our desired objectives and our nation can prosper. So it's on that basis that I call upon the representative of
precondition for all aids and enhance the efficiency and effectiveness of services. Audits are carried out at regular intervals to assess and improve performance, such as SAFICOM and others. Rule of law. The authorities abide by the law and judicial decisions. Rules and regulations are adopted in accordance with procedures provided by law and are enforced impartially, as exercised by such agencies as Code of Conduct, Code of Conduct Tribunal, and National Industrial Court, etc. Transparency. Decisions are taken and enforced in accordance with rules and regulations. There is public access to all information which is not classified for well-specified reasons as provided for by law. Information on decisions, implementation of policies, and resources made available to the public in such a way as to enable it to effectively follow and contribute to the work of the authority, as in the Freedom of Information Act. Accountability. All decision makers, collective and individual, take responsibility and against actions of local authorities which infringe on civil rights, freedom of information, ICPC, EFCC, TSA. First aspect of the reforms, that is the yearly post-independence reforms, major focus on reducing waste, cut costing of governance, and enhancing revenue.
Intervention will be from the conduct, competence and capacity, efficiency, and so on, because of, as of course, brought home the need for resilient economic policies sustainable enough to enhance the country's macroeconomic growth. Some of such very deliberate economic policies include the ERGP, the Economic Sustainability Plan, National Social Investment Program, the NSIP, Anchor Borrowers Program, Medium-Term Development Plan, Annual Appropriations, Monetary and Fiscal Policies. Beyond these economic policies, government has demonstrated a sense of responsibility to enhance the country's macroeconomic development. And all of these efforts are already yielding fruits. According to the paper, the economy grew by 3.54% real terms in quarter 2 of 2022. That's according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. Therefore, hope is being created that this will go further and better for the good of the country.
Good afternoon, President and Chairman of Council. Good afternoon, the chartered people present in this hall, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I hope that the chairman will give me some time. I was told I have 15 minutes. When I first came in, I asked about that. Let me say by way of introduction that when I was given the topic to speak to, it's a wrong assumption, and even though leadership and followership cannot be separated, from each other as such. And when you talk about governance today, it is better to know the origin, because when I saw those from the government institutions talking about governance, they talk about it without knowing the origin of the term governance. Governance is not what you and I understand to be governance in the new language of governance. Of course, primarily, governance is the equivalence of state institutions and the coercive authorities of the state. That's what governance is traditionally or conventionally known, to be. But following the collapse of the Soviet Union, and of course, the end of bipolarity, the country that claimed to have won that Cold War reinvented, governance. And so governance became a language of the international financial institutions. And it was relevant to them in the context of the huge debt crisis of even global, of corporate governance in that sense. It was offered by one British columnist, I think in the UK Telegraph or so, some years back, that you discuss governance issues within a global economic setting. And that economic setting, of course, as you know, is capitalism. And the man asked, can you save capitalism? He asked that question. And he concluded by saying that capitalism has no soul, so you can save it. And so when you talk about global,
you know, Christ said to his followers, you are they who have stayed with me in my hour of trials. Many of us have gone. So you appoint to a kingdom. You are going to have double promotion for remaining to hear the communique. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have been listening with rapt attention to a lot of things that have been said. And we just felt that it was important to share with us, give us a foretaste. Of course, in about a week's time, the full-blown communique will be released. So, sir, please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. The President and Chairman of Council, Honorable Minister of Works and Housing, I believe represented at this event, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation also represented, and other officials of the Institute. I'm Olumide Ayodele, Technical Advisor to the Director General Budget Office of the Federation. The Director General had indicated that he will present this keynote discussion at this conference, but unfortunately he had to disconnect so as to be able to attend to very pressing issues now. Currently, the bilateral discussion with this public debt and the service of the public debt are significantly constrained the efforts of government to bridge the infrastructure gap, and their service has become a very significant proportion of government revenue. And therefore, the DG believes that the NNPC has not, remitted oil revenue to the FAC since January this year. In addition to the issue of the, okay, let me just go to the effects. A direct effect of this public debt, the rising public debt, is the increasing debt service. Debt service payments from this graph, we've seen that has been on the increase. Although revenue in general has also been increasing, but we see that the debt service ratio, so the ratio of debt service to revenue has risen significantly. because the rate of increase in debt service is higher than the rate of increase in revenue. Given the background of the low revenue as a result of the recessions that the country witnessed recently. Apart from increasing debt service, we see that following this is the lower fiscal space for development spending. Now, in 2021, the revenue debt service revenue ratio is 69%, and by the first half of this year is 98%. We know that revenue performance is usually better in the second half of the year, so we expect this ratio to be significantly lower than this. Nevertheless, we see that the ratio has reached a worrying level, and that if this critical revenue problem is not urgently addressed, it can lead to significant debt sustainability issue for Nigeria. And the Director General is of the view that Nigeria does not have a classic debt sustainability problem, but a revenue challenge. Because if the 4 trillion naira that is spent on oil subsidy, if that is saved and utilized for other purposes, we'll see that this.
We'd like to say thank you for being a part of today's production. My name is Adegboyega Labiron. Thanking you for staying with us. You've watched a series of clips with special reference to the annual conference of the Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria. I'm now being joined by the anchor himself, Tunde Odeyemi. Tunde, it was a very wonderful session, was it?
It was a very wonderful annual conference of ICSAN. Of course, the 46th annual conference of ICSAN that was held on the 15th and 16th of September here in Lagos. We'd like to say congratulations to every members of ICSAN, and thanks to the president and of course the CEO of ICSAN for allowing us to bring this program to our viewers. And that's our package for today. I remain Tunde Odeyemi, of course, my producer Adegboyega Labiro, and the technical director Abib. Thank you very much. We ask you to join us again next week, same station, same time. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune in to Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.